I am the women's basketball head coach, 𝗖cie McKeown's daughter. I had the opportunity to play here from 2010 to 2014, and now I am a women's basketball analyst, which is always fun because it brings me back to one of my favorite places to be at.
It's going to be interesting to see how Northwestern can handle the rebounding aspect of this, as well as limiting Iowa in transition.
Basketball has always been in my life from the moment I can remember. Growing up around women's basketball, I was exposed to strong, confident women at a young age, and I had a father who was empowering these women to be strong and confident and pave their way in the world.
When Meg was born, we were at GW, and Joe would come home from a game and sit down. Meg was like 5, and she'd come over and she'd sit at Dad's feet, and they would watch game film.
It was a natural step for me just to start playing basketball. It was never forced upon me, which is pretty cool, and I appreciate my parents for that.
It's really a very slippery slope when you're a college basketball coach and your own children. You know, people think you should know exactly what to do, and really, most of the time you're trying to stay out of the way.
It was always, difficult for my confidence in times because I was, more aware than anybody that I was the coach's daughter. I didn't want to play for my dad in college because I wanted to earn it a different way. And then we had a massive life change. We moved from DC to Chicago. I was 16. I didn't have a very good attitude about it, but we did it, and it was the best opportunity for our family and for my brother Joey, who has special needs.
I remember she said that she would never want to play for Dad, but it just kind of made sense with my family situation, with my brother and everything. It just made sense for her to stay at home and be close to us.
She had her own ideas of who she was, what she wanted to do. She was a tremendous student. So a lot of the Ivy League schools were very interested. Harvard and Yale were both recruiting her, as well as some of the DC schools. And then one day she said, you know what, I want to play here.
When I first got to campus, I'll never forget being just so nervous that it was still going to be the same thing. Oh, you're only here because you're 𝗖cie McKeown's daughter. And I will be forever grateful to the seniors my freshman year who just took me under their wing and made me feel like a teammate and not like a coach's daughter.
Knowing that she's going to play for you, you're going to treat her like everybody else that's on your team. You want to make sure her experience is really good here as a student athlete, and you have to represent her as a dad too.
Michigan back up by 9. Can McKeown hit again? She does. That'll make an extra big smile on 𝗖cie McKeown's face.
You would never have known that there was that father-daughter dynamic, on the team when I was there. He was always very professional in that aspect, and she was, great teammate, great player, because she was able to be coached hard and be accountable for things that she should have been accountable for, just like we all were.
I've been a head coach for close to 40 years, and I think one of the reasons we've been successful in building programs is that we brought this family atmosphere to the program.
Funny enough, when I was 16 years old and we moved to Northwestern, Big Ten Network came out to my house, and they did a story on my family, on my brother specifically, Joey. He has autism. I was fascinated by everything. The lights, the camera, the storytelling. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen, and I couldn't believe that it was an actual job that you could get paid for. The hesitation, the hardest part of me becoming a basketball analyst was, you are 𝗖cie McKeown's daughter. Can you be unbiased? And I'm forever grateful to every single coach in the Big Ten for treating me like a professional and for trusting me with their stories. No coach in the Big Ten has ever made me feel like an outsider because of what my last name was.
Being able to watch her kind of develop and grow from being able to play for him to now calling his games. She just is so great with everything and so like neutral and unbiased. She's just wonderful with everything that she does.
Sometimes, you know, when she'll do our game, I'll go home and watch the tape, and then you hear this announcer saying, I can't believe they called that play, or I can't believe, you know, put that, why did he make that substitution? Why did he call a timeout then? And I'm listening, and it's my daughter.
Northwestern has to take advantage of Naz Hillman being on the bench for the next 15 seconds.
Getting just to be back in this environment, which I've been around for the last 17, 18 years, which is crazy, and to now have been fortunate enough to make a career out of it, I'm the luckiest woman on the face of the planet.